Hi everyone, it's Cindy, and I'm here to do my CW Planner Marguerite Miller Challenge Week 12. And let me just read you what we're needing, and then I'll show you what I dug out. So we're supposed to have a comic, architecture, something cold, a favorite word, a bird, and the bonus is stamping in non-black ink. And because it's on top, that's what I'm going to start with. This is my stamping. It's just handwriting stamp from Impression Obsession, and I thought I would use this Twisted Citron Distress Oxide because it was out on my desk, and it goes with the rest of the colors. And my word is this stamped love. This is my architecture. It's these. I think these are Ionic columns. I think. If you know differently, let me know. But I think those are Ionic columns. And this is my bird in flight. And I just like the idea of putting my pictures, because they all are pictures, on some cardstock to just sort of set them apart a little bit. And then this is my Something Cold. That's at Whistler. So there's my Something Cold. And here's my comic, which is not really much of a comic, but I didn't have any comics. I mean, it's made in a comic style. So it's actually from a Ted and Peg book that my daughter-in-law gave to me. So one of the boys had it. And so, yeah, there's that. And then I had printed off, I bought a digital kit of some tea cards, and for some reason, when I opened the PDF file, or the zip file rather, all the cards are individual pictures instead of being on a sheet. And I was trying to check them out, and I accidentally started printing the whole. It was going to print the whole thing, but on each one on a large piece of paper. So I fortunately only did 2 before I stopped it. But I thought I wanted to put this on here to get some color going in the background and just sort of, take it someplace else. So that, I guess, will be my first step, is to put that down. And the other thing is, they're not, it's pretty color-wise, but it's kind of blurry because, they weren't meant to be this size. So I used up my last glue stick. I have one more deep buried on a shelf, and I haven't dug it out yet. And I think I'm going to try and wean myself off of them. When I bought that pack of 12 Oohoo glue sticks, I paid $21 for 12 of them. And I felt that was a pretty doggone good deal. Well, now they're up to $35 or more, and I don't know. I'm just not liking that price. Almost $3 a piece. Because I go through them so fast. So I'm going to have to... I should be doing this with tacky glue, actually. Yeah. Just going to have to get used to not yet having the glue sticks, because that's just too much money. And I'm cheap. I think we've discussed that before. So, there. Okay, there's that. And then, I think I'm just going to ink this all up. And then I'm going to sort of just stamp it all over this background piece. Let's see, can we see it? Not much. Not any better? Can it be seen? I guess it can be seen. I don't want it to be the event. So, let's see. What kind of stories do I have for you today? Well, you know, my son and daughter-in-law officially moved to just outside Denver, Colorado. And Jason went to work for the Aurora City Park System, and it was his turn. Well, he actually works. He works Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then he has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off. He works 4 10-hour days. So he, now here's my next question. Should I ink this a little bit? Just make it stand out on these, against these papers? What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? Nah, I'm not gonna do that. So, anyway, he had to work on Sunday, obviously, and that was the day they had the big blizzard down, you know, all across the far west there. And Jay said by noon it was snowing so fast they couldn't plow anymore. They were trying to keep up with the plowing as the morning went, but it was snowing so heavily that there was literally no plowing it. They had to give it up. They called their boss and said, "This is what's happening," and he said, "Just go on home." So as they were trying to put the trucks away with the snow plows, there were 2 guys working. They got them stuck various times and finally managed to get them put away. And then when Jay tried to get his car out, of course they had to unshovel it. It was, you know, by this time like 18 inches deep or more, I don't know. They got a total of 29 inches. And they got it stuck getting out of there. So his coworker said, I'll take you home. He said, I've got a truck with 4-wheel drive. So, okay, they headed toward, I think his name's Rod, I'm not positive. They headed toward Rod's truck, and they got stuck a couple of times getting out of the park, and then they made it to the interstate, and or the bypass, and they were going, it's either 270 or 470, I never remember which. They were heading out, and the wind was blowing so hard that it literally blew his truck into the ditch. So then there they were. And I should back up. When Jay was leaving his car, he had to make a decision. He had a go bag kind of thing with a sleeping bag and some clothes and some, you know, food and water and all that kind of stuff. But he also had his camera bag, and he's a dance photographer. He's got quite a lot of money in his equipment, and he just, you know, for him it was a no-brainer. He had to take his camera bag. He wasn't going to let that freeze in the park. So he grabbed his camera bag, and they headed out. Well, now he's stuck along the side of the interstate, and sheriff's vehicle, well, sheriff comes along in a snowcat, and they're picking up people as they get stranded, so they pile them into the snowcat, and they take, they had to go only like 5 miles down the road, but it took a good, I forget what Jay said, like a half hour, 45 minutes, because of course they were stopping, and a snowcat doesn't exactly make time. So they finally get to the shelter, and the shelter's all full, so they have to load everybody back in and head off to the next shelter, which happened to be a sheriff's station. And so that ended up being where they spent the night. And there was no food. There was lots of coffee, but there was no food. because they had so many people stranded that they just couldn't keep up with the demand for food, and their location just didn't happen to get any. So the guys literally did not eat that whole day, and so they finally get through that, and the sheriff's office takes them back to the park the next day, and they dig out Jay's car, and of course the other guy's truck is still in the ditch at this point, and Jay takes his friend home. Well, no, their boss, the big boss, not just their supervisor, but the big boss, expects them to work all day. No great sympathy for these guys that spent the night in a shelter. He just expects them to work. So they, at noontime, they went out to find something to eat. Well, every place was closed, and so they ended up going to Walmart and getting some frozen stuff, thinking they'd go back to the park and eat in the office, at the, using the microwave. Well, they couldn't get in the office because it was just the two of them, and they don't have keys to the office. So they called their supervisor this time. They didn't call the big boss. And he said, you guys just go home, get yourself something to eat, get warm, go to bed, whatever you need to do, and we'll start all over tomorrow. So that's what they did. So, yeah, my boy had quite the adventure. My best friend, he posted all this on Facebook, and my best friend said to him, well, Jason, I think it was incredibly good timing that you moved to Colorado just in time to be part of a record-breaking snowfall. So, it was Jay's first real blizzard. So that was, we've had him here, but he never had to be out in it. And he was in Minnesota, his in-laws, when there have been blizzards, but now I don't know what I'm going to do with this. So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it here. I'm going to put it here. Okay, now is that it? Is there anything else I was going to put in there? I guess not. Do I have everything? I have my stamping, which you can see. I've got my comic. I've got architecture. I've got something cold. A favorite word, which is the word love down here. And then a bird. So yeah, got it all. My comic. Okay. I think I'm done. I almost wish I had something for right there. Not sure what, but I may have to find something for there. So there it is. That's my Marguerite Miller CW Planner Collage Challenge for week 12. And we'll see how long it takes me to get it uploaded this week. Our internet is just so bad, it's driving us both insane. But we'll persevere, I guess. Please like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you real soon.